And we are rolling on May 8th, 2018, here in Los Angeles, at UCLA, where it's a beautiful day. We have a beautiful campus, don't we, kids? Sunshine is shining. Who could ask for more? And we're about to hear a speech from Nicole. She's looking around the room to make sure all eyeballs are upon her. Telephones and computers are closed and away. She's in the power stance, standing nicely. Her eyes are on her audience, and she's saying to herself, I respect my audience. She's finding friendly eyes near the front and the center, says her name, and starts her speech.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Just keep swimming. This quote's from a pretty famous Pixar film, and I often find myself repeating this mantra whenever I'm feeling stuck in life. So today I wanted to share with you that film that really moved me, Finding Nemo. It made me feel confused, it made me feel scared, and ultimately it made me feel fulfilled. So there are many significant themes in this film that I know you will all enjoy and be interested in. Stephen Holden, writer of the New York Times, said that visual imagination and sophisticated wit raise Finding Nemo to levels just below that of Pixar's Toy Story and Monsters, Inc. And while I agree with some parts of his quote, I really believe that Finding Nemo is a better film than the other two because it made me feel emotions that the other two films didn't make me feel. So
Right.
The first way that this film moved me was that it made me feel confused. So the incident in the film that made me feel confused was when Marlin first ran into Dory, and then she kept saying the phrase, a boat? I've seen a boat, over and over again. And this incident in the film made me feel confused because it reminded me of the time when I was volunteering at an adult daycare center for those who suffer from memory loss. And I was interacting with one of the senior members, and she kept saying the phrase, Irvine. I don't know where Irvine is. I don't know where that is. Over and over to me again. And it wasn't until after that I realized that she also suffered from short-term memory loss, just as Dory had suffered. So when that happened to me, I felt really confused, and I felt in the same shoes as Marlin had felt. So the second way that this film moved me was that it made me feel scared. The incident in the film that made me feel scared was when Marlin and Dory had to ask a school of fish for directions, and they had to go either between the trench or going over the trench, and I kind of felt scared because I knew that they were going to pick the wrong path and they were going to get lost. So that's when it made me feel a little scared. And this incident reminded me of the time when I was studying abroad in Korea last summer, and I got lost on the first day that I was there. And it was really dark. I was alone. I spoke limited Korean, and it was just not a good time. My phone died also. So that reminded me of the time I was studying abroad, and it made me feel really scared. So I ended up getting home, but it took me 2 hours, and that was really unfortunate. So the last way that this film moved me was that it made me feel fulfilled. The incident in the film that made me feel fulfilled was when Dory brought Nemo back to Marlin, and the two were finally reunited. And in that moment, I felt really fulfilled because they had reunited after a really long journey. So the incident in this film reminded me of the time when I was at my old elementary school, and a little girl came up to me, and she said that she was lost. So I took her to the office, and her mom eventually picked her up. And when this happened to me, I felt really fulfilled because I had done a good deed. So there you have it. In summary, the film made me feel confused, it made me feel scared, and it made me feel fulfilled. And there should be no doubt in this room that Finding Nemo was a film that really moved me. And although, going back to Stephen Holden's comment of visual imagination and sophisticated wit, I really think that Finding Nemo has all these qualities, and it makes it a better movie than Toy Story and Monsters, Inc. And it also reminds me that when there's hardships and obstacles in life, I should keep swimming. Thank you.
Thank you. What side did we start on before? This side? Oh. Let's go over here. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Chang.
Hi, Chung.
So I really like the way you reminded us of the emotion repeatedly. I like the way you started your speech too. It's simple but kind of like memorable, and your tie back, kind of brought your speech full circle. And I like how you were really succinct in your plot, like a film summary. Like you went to the gist of it. So yeah, good job.
Just keep swimming, yes. In the film Nashville, there's a similar song. It says, when you're faced with insurmountable odds, just keep it going. Just keep it going. And I know many people grab that line too as a similar line that gives them hope. It's what you have to do. Yes, please.
Hi, Salome.
Hi, Salome.
Hi, Nicole. So I really liked your speech. I think the only thing I would say is maybe vocal variety. I think you vocal variety because I think we really need to feel like the emotion, kind of like when you're scared. Like, it sounds scary, but other than that, it feels really good.
Well, I like your speech a lot. You're a very likable speaker. You're a very sincere woman, and that comes through. That's nice. Yeah. I agree with Saloni. You are on the soft-spoken side. I like to see you put more energy into your speeches and have a high, and a low, and a medium, and just more vocal variety. And you need to practice that way so you're more interesting to listen to. Because, if you speak, I'm not saying you did, but if you speak in a total monotone, can be tough on the audience. So just keep swimming. Simple introduction, as I've already commented on. Pretty profound statement. I know when I saw Finding Nemo, I locked onto that phrase too and thought, that's good advice for life, is you gotta just keep it going, You got right to the point and said, confused, scared, and fulfilled. There was very little fluff in this film, in this speech. You just got right to the point, which I like. On the significant statement, you mainly disagreed with Stephen Holden, and which was fine. I sort of disagreed with him too, but the comparisons are inevitable. It would be interesting to know what other significant themes were in there that the audience could relate to, but I did like the way you disagreed somewhat and showed some independent thought. On your main body, you felt confused, and you quoted the film A Boat, a Boat, a Boat, a Boat, a Boat. And you told us about your work in a daycare center where a young lady, not too young, but an older woman who you realized was impaired, kept saying, where is Irvine? And the same conversation over and over again, and it made you at first confused, and then you got the realization that she was impaired. A little more felt sensing there, just as play the drama of that out a little more, but we got the idea. You were confused. Unscared, yes. This is probably your best emotion. You were in Korea. It would have helped to tell us, were you in Seoul or where exactly, what happened, what street, put the drama late at night, some scary men walk by, put some, more drama into it. And by the way, I'm glad that you finally resolved it for your audience and told us that you made it home safe. Some people tell a story and they go, and that's why I was scared. And we go, well, what happened to you? So you did resolve it, and that was good. So the felt sensing was pretty good there. I just would have liked a little more elaboration. Unfulfilled, this is where I felt you really were light. You found a lost girl at your elementary school, and you helped her find her mother. You felt that you had done a good deed, and this made you feel fulfilled, as good deeds do make us feel. And that's a good lesson for you to remember when you're trying to choose a life's path and job to choose, because serving others can be very fulfilling and can be more fulfilling than accumulating a lot of shekels. Again, the one thing I feel is you just left it that way and that was a good deed, and I felt fulfilled because I did a good deed. A little bit more there to elaborate, Nicole. Summary was perfect. Conclusion, and to go back to the review, I like that, bringing double sort of whammy. And then I was worried you were going to drop the keep swimming, but you didn't, and that was a great ending. On your kanai, you said, I don't want to say like anymore. I want to have more vocal variety. And I want to remember to say the key phrases such as there should be no doubt in this room. I assume with vocal emphasis to make the narrative come alive. How did it go, Nicole?
I think I did the first and the third one pretty well. Said like a lot less, but maybe a little too much. And the second one I could work on more. I think I did a little better than the first speech then.
Yes. My suggestion is I hope you have someone live to practice with, and you tell them, my goal is to have vocal variety, and you exaggerate. You do weird vocal variety, almost like a drama queen saying the speech, and really exaggerate, because you need to learn to go way out of your comfort zone to get more vocal variety. So I thought this was a simple speech with a simple message. What did you put in here that was unexpected, that you wanted special attention from your audience for?
I guess the story about Korea was kind of unexpected, where I got lost, and I'm glad that I did tell everybody that I got home later, even though it was after a really long time. I think that everybody else can relate when I'm sure they've gotten lost in these ones.
Yes, I was lost in Paris and late for the airport, and a very kind man on a motorcycle said, get on, and with my suitcase, and he got me to the plane on time. Never forget that ride. Kindness of strangers, On your credibility, I thought you were credible. The evidence you cited was credible. I didn't think that you were overly excessively abstract, and I thought the stories you told could have used a little bit more detail to be more credible. So I thought the stickiness of the speech was pretty good. Okay? So, congratulations. Okay. Do we have Saloni in the house? You did your speech already. Do we have Danny in the house? Okay, let's rock and roll, Danny. Hi, Danny. How you doing?
Good.
That's good. Stand in the middle of the box, one step that way by the, yeah, perfect. Danny stands before us, managing attention, looking around the room, making sure all eyeballs are upon. Oh, what was the time on her speech, by the way? 4 minutes. Okay, thank you. Make sure all eyeballs and thank you for putting that phone away like that. Yeah. And he says to himself, "I respect." It's feet a little wider apart for the power stance. Yes. He communicates respect non-verbally. He says to himself, "I respect my audience," and really means it. Finding friendly eyes, say your name, feel the love, start your speech.
Hi everyone, I'm Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Childhood. 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 When I was in elementary and middle school, I had a small spelling bee career. The furthest I made it was the regional levels, so just one level short of the televised Scripps National Spelling Bee. Today I wanted to talk about a film that really moved me, Ucla and the Bee. It made me feel nostalgic, sad, and loved. Dana Stevens of the New York Times said that the film is an underdog tale that managed to inspire without being sappy. And I agree with this statement, because even though the main character, Ucla, is only 9 years old, and I am much older than that, I related a lot with the movie. So, the first way the film made me feel was nostalgic. I felt nostalgic when Ucla won her first spelling bee at the middle school. And made me feel this way because it reminded me of a time when I won my first spelling bee. It was in elementary school at 5th grade. So there were 2 people left, me and somebody that I had considered a rival, because the year before he had beat me. So it was perhaps maybe the longest spelling bee there was, because we had multiple rounds. In each round we both got the word correctly. However, when it went to the final word, corsage, he spelled it wrong, and I got it right. So I felt really accomplished that day. And when that happened to me, or when I saw that scene in the movie, it made me feel really nostalgic, because I looked back to that time when I was victorious. The next way the film made me feel was sad. And what it made me feel sad was when Ucla wanted to give up. So she had qualified for the National Spelling Bee. And because of that, however, it really isolated her from her community. So for instance, because she studied spelling so much, her best friend felt left out, and she didn't speak to Ucla. And furthermore, her coach, Mr. Larrabee, told her that he wouldn't be coaching her anymore. As a result, Ucla was alone. She broke down, telling her mother that she wanted to give up because she felt so alone. And I felt this way back towards the end of my high school career, during my senior year. So it was just a few weeks shy of graduating. And of course, this is the time when all the teachers in my classes decided, oh, let's just assign a bunch of projects. So I took 5 classes, and between the 5 classes, I had 7 projects, which is insane in my opinion, because I just want to graduate, Yeah, so when I saw that scene, it reminded me to when I felt so alone because I was overwhelmed with everything, going off to college, preparing for college. The last way the film made me feel was loved. And the scene in the film that made me feel loved was when Ucla reconciles with her friend and the community, her brother's friends, and Mr. Larrabee, her coach, who came back. It all helped her study. So I felt this way fall quarter. I took this really intense class called ichthyology, the study of fishes. Don't take that. So throughout the course of that class, I had to memorize over 250 species of fishes, like including their common names, scientific names, habitat, where they're from, just literally everything about fish. So I was completely overwhelmed the entire time. And I also felt really alone. It caused me to have some unhealthy living habits. However, when I told my friends all of that, they really helped me. So in the late nights, they would help me with by holding up flashcards, testing me on the fishes. And in the end, I really felt loved. The sense of community that Ucla had, I really resonated with her, and I felt that way too. And as a result, I didn't really feel alone, and I survived. Okay. In summary, I've told you 3 ways that Ucla and the Bee moved me. It made me feel nostalgic, sad, and loved. There should be no doubt in this room of its impact on me. So, because of how I detailed all of that, I don't have to spell it out for you, I guess, of how much I resonated with the film. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. More back. Here, I guess.
I really like your speech.
Name?
My name is Sophia.
Hi, Sophia.
I really like your speech, especially how you started, because I was not expecting that, you spelling it, and I was really confused. But then you were talking about spelling bees, so it made a lot of sense to me, and I really like that.
So why is this guy spelling? Improvement, please? Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Nyla.
Hi, Nyla.
I think one improvement is you didn't really seem comfortable when you were walking on the stage, maybe practice walking back and forth and doing your speech before.
Good, yeah. Well, Danny, yeah, let me start with positive. I thought you made a real effort to share some inner thoughts here and some feelings, and I admire you for that. That was good. Let me give you some feedback that will help you. Your sleeves are hiding your hands, and so I would put them up above your elbows for the future so that you get really good hand movement, and you were kind of playing with them a little bit, which was kind of annoying, but a small issue, not critical. Mm-hmm. You started with the spelling out the word childhood, and then you just sort of in the end collapsed down to, I love the movie, I love the spelling bees, so I think you could have done something clever like fun or great, G-R-E-A-T or something, just something clever to bring back the spelling aspect of it, but yeah, it was a good speech overall. So I commented on the introduction. On the thesis, yes, nostalgic, sad, and loved. Clear. Your quote from Dana Stevens in the New York Times, that's a credible source. And you picked a good quote which said the underdog tale inspires without being sappy. Yeah. And I think that was a good quote to pull out of there. I would like to have heard more of your agreement, disagreement, feeling about the quote. Mm-hmm. On nostalgic. Mm-hmm. You had a rivalry with another boy. It would have been, if you don't feel comfortable giving his real name, give him a name, Bobby or whatever it was. And, you know, that just that detail makes the rivalry real. And we got a sense of reliving it and return to the and reliving it in my mind is why I felt so nostalgic. Return to the emotion that you're trying to communicate. Very nice Chicago footnote on your first page. Very nice. On sad, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. You express, real feelings about feeling alone, like her, and just wanting to give up. And, I felt this was you were really remembering it, and I felt you were doing good sensing there, so I gave you good marks for that there. I felt you were really trying to do the assignment in the spirit that I gave the assignment, so I give you good marks there for that. Mm-hmm. On your third emotion, love, yes. Mm-hmm. I'll go right to your ichthyology course, yes. Mm-hmm. And how your friends rallied around you to help you with your cue cards and so forth, and how you felt supported and loved, and you remembered that, and you returned to that emotion, and you said, that's when I really felt loved and supported. And so that was a good story. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Summary: airtight, nostalgic, sad, and love. Same order. Good. Mm-hmm. No doubt in this room it really moved me, and I told you I would like a little more creativity with the tieback. Mm-hmm. Your canines speak slower, appear less nervous, and speak louder. How to go?
I think I spoke slower, but like appearing less nervous, I think I can be improved on. And speaking louder, I think I can also improve on that.
Okay. I think you presented a fairly simple speech. I want to know what you designed in this speech that was unexpected, that was designed to get our attention on especially important points.
In terms of unexpected, I think the introduction when I spelled out childhood was unexpected.
Yeah.
However, in terms of the main points, I think it was fairly simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. I agree. You were credible. Your evidence was credible from the New York Times. That doesn't get any more